It's a safe bet that if you live west of Halifax, you've never heard of the NBL or even aware Canada has a professional basketball league. It cropped up nearly 2 years ago and was billed as being to the NBA what the CFL is to the NFL. This weekend, the top 5 teams in the league begin their playoff run, including a club no one expected to be a contender, especially after the season it had last year. In fact, the only thing more surprising than its sudden turnaround is the city it calls home. They say Summerside, PEI is one of the most beautiful places you can visit. Red sandy beaches, all the lobster you can eat, and a bevy of arts and culture. For half the year, that's true. It's the other half that isn't exactly the stuff of postcards. So why, of all the places, would someone decide to put a professional basketball team during the winter here? What was the plan?
There was a plan? There was no plan.
The team, aptly named the Summerside Storm, was the brainchild of 2 longtime business partners, Duncan Shaw and Darren McKay, who made their millions building and then selling their software company.
2 months before the league started?
Yes.
You bought a team?
Yes.
Price tag?
100 grand.
But why Summerside? Why not Charlottetown? Why not St. John's?
Summerside had the court. When you're 8 weeks away, who has the court matters.
Our funny story, we usually talk about our first practice. You know, we still didn't have basketballs here.
Where did you find them?
I think we borrowed some from a local high school.
Let's go, let's go. Do the set, let's go.
Duncan and Darren recruited Joe Salerno to coach their team.
Joe started calling people saying, do you got any tall guys left?
Bang, 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 let's go, dude.
Was anybody concerned that this small town of 14,000 people might not come out to basketball games?
Probably should have thought of that. There were questions. No questions.
Overnight, a town with Celtic roots and an older demographic had 7-foot giants among them.
For some young kids, it's the first time they would see someone of color, so that's been different for a lot of young kids.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Well, live, I'm sure, yeah.
Do people stop and stare?
Oh, yeah, all the time, all the time, all the time.
There's a nice touch from Al Stewart.
The team's captain, Al Stewart.
Born and raised in Chicago, West Side.
So Joe calls you.
So Joe calls me.
Where did he say you would be playing?
Summerside, PEI. I'm like, what is that?
Had you ever heard of Summerside?
Never.
Had you ever heard of PEI?
Never. So I'm like, let me go on a map and try to figure this out.
For 5 months a year, home would become a 250-square-foot hotel room in a town where Sunday shopping is still regulated by the government.
What does a basketball player from Chicago do for fun in Summerside?
Nothing.
But you signed up.
But I signed up.
The next challenge was getting Islanders, who'd never been to a professional basketball game before, into the seats. And so Darren and Duncan sold tickets for the price of a movie.
How much money did you lose the first year?
150 grand? Yeah. Roughly.
But the stands started filling up.
We average 2,000 people a night in Summerside.
The people here love this team.
They do. They love it.
I go in Walmart. They announced it on the intercom. Al, if you're still in Walmart, we have a few autographs that you can sign, please, for a few children. And I was like, really?
Team, 1, 2, 3. 3 or 4 players going up. 2 of the quicker.
There was just one problem.
Guard position.
Take care of the basketball guys. Let's go.
While is no good. Smith with a nice move.
Summerside hasn't helped himself here at the foul line.
The Summerside Storm weren't winning.
Last year you finished in the league
7th out of 8 teams last season.
second to last.
Second to last.
And they come away with a 121-108 victory over the Summerside Storm.
So last summer, with a little more lead time, Coach Salerno started brainstorming.
Reevaluating the season from top to bottom and what we needed to do different to be successful.
And what was that?
Find some better players.
One of the directions we gave Joe was we need personalities. We want to be able to put them out in the schools, in front of the public, and it's worked out wonderfully.
So if you can't envision that player reading to 8-year-olds in the morning, he's not your guy.
That's right.
Even if he's going to score 100 points.
Exactly.
Among the new recruits, 2 players so talented, they recently played in the NBA Development League. Omari Johnson.
Have you ever heard of Anne of Green Gables?
What is that?
It's a famous storybook that comes from this island.
Nah.
Girl with red hair.
Is it about you? Is it about you?
And Greg Plummer.
You're from New York.
Right.
New York is chaos 24/7. Summerside is...
Slow.
Still, players are fighting to get here.
For each player in the NBL, there's probably 1,000 people waiting to take their job at home right now.
People are dying to come live
Yeah.
and play in Summerside, PEI.
Yeah. Somebody's home working out right now because he's waiting for his phone to ring to come play here.
You certainly don't earn what players earn in the NBA.
No.
Not even close.
Not even close.
The salary cap for the 12 players on the team combined is $150,000. That's less than 3% of the average salary for one player in the NBA.
Of what you do earn, do you have to send that home?
Some of it, yeah. I'm definitely still helping out my mom, sister.
Would you
Drugs.
call where you lived a bad neighborhood?
Yeah, definitely.
Ever see a shooting?
Yep. A lot. Too many.
Home, for many of these players, is a far cry from the fabled island of Anne of Green Gables.
You see it every day. People selling drugs, people using drugs, drive-by shooting.
Have you ever seen anybody get killed?
I have. Right on the side of my house. Yes, I have.
In Summerside, where there hasn't been a murder in 30 years, the players found a second home. The local high school principal created the Adopt a Storm program, giving every player on the team a host family.
Hey, buddy.
Like the Poiriers. And once a week, Al and Greg come for a home-cooked meal, stay for seconds, and leave with leftovers.
Just like part of the family.
It's the only town that does it.
Halfway! Push! Get low, get low, get low!
The other part of the team's makeover meant improving their stamina in the fourth quarter.
Go!
And that's where trainer Corey Arsenault comes in.
You always have rap music blasting us,
No, don't, not at all, no. A lot of swear words, so we don't usually play it.
It didn't take long for this new revamped team to turn around.
How does it feel to win?
It feels great to win.
By the start of March, the team that finished second from the bottom last season was ranked second from the top.
Realistically, do you think you can win it all?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
We can win it all. It's just going to take all of us to do it. Definitely includes the talent. They can't come here, clapping like this or that. No. You got to step it up, just like we have to step it up.
What will this town do if you win it all?
I have no idea.
Probably have a parade.
If it doesn't snow. They'll plan a parade, but it'll be snowed out because it's PEI.